Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the last show of Saturday and it's a craft along. I do hope you've had a good day. I do hope you're staying safe and warm because actually we have been looking at the weather forecast and it's lots of places around here, Lake Windermere, and people are snowed in, completely snowed in. They've set up refugee points for them. I think that's quite frightening, really. There's a scattering of snow where we are, but I do hope wherever you are, you're keeping nice and warm and safe, and you've been enjoying crafting along with us throughout the day, and enjoying all of the little nuggets of information and handy tips that Debbie's been giving us all day. Because we've got a fantastic craft along, and of course we have the wonderful Debbie Robinson with us. Hello, Debbie. How are you going?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Although I did say, if somebody fetched me a pillow and a blanket, I would have had a little nap in between that last show. I think it'll be an early night for me tonight as well, Becky. Do you know what it were? It was that dinner.
Yeah.
I think having a Sunday roast dinner on a Saturday afternoon has just finished me off.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome. We are going to be doing the craft along. I'll show you the project. We are going to be working with the Illustrated Embossing Folders, and you're going to make yourself a little matching tag as well. I'm going to take you through the colouring stages. This is, of course, it's a little bit like a 2-hour colouring course, to be fair, but they are beautiful embossing folders that we're going to hopefully as well, if we don't get to the box bit, I'll give you all the measurements. Don't worry, don't fret. What we're going to do is do this in real-time crafting, as we would if you were in my craft room with me, real-time crafting, one-on-one. So yeah, any questions, just, you know, hands up, let the social media team know and everything like that. But fingers crossed, we'll get all of this done. I'll go through the... Do you want me to go through the list now, actually?
Yeah,
I'll go through
why
the list
not?
of what you need right now is, if you've got the Illustrated Embossing Folders, I've used the Butterfly Hydrangea. I love this one. But you can use any of them, to be fair. But if you're wanting to craft along with this and learn that colouring technique, that's the one you're going to need. Please don't shout, but I have popped the little with Love mini die in there, just for decoration purpose only. Tag punch, because we're going to make our own tag. I've got tri-blend pens. Now, I've used some Pacific colours, which we'll talk about later when we come to that, but you can choose your own hydrangea colour. All you'll need are a couple of colours in terms of the flower, so choose the flower colour and then the leaf colour, but I'll tell you the ones that I've used. For the mats and the layers, I have used Colours of Summer 12x12 linen card pad. I've used multi-purpose card and Mina cardstock, and the multi-purpose card actually was A3 in size, because the box that I'm doing will be made from an A3 cardstock. For die cutting purposes, we need a die cutting machine because we're going to be embossing, a guillotine, large or small, score master or the big score, scissors, poker tool, all-purpose glue, red liner tape, foam pads and a little bit of ribbon for your tag, and that's it. Nice and simple. I say stripped back, but literally it is. That's exactly what I'm going to take you through. I'm going to take you through that concept that Leanne and the team developed in terms of why it's an illustrated embossing folder. It's all about the colouring. So yeah, sit back and get your colouring on, because that's what we're going to be doing in a short while, Becky.
Excellent. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. So if you want to craft along and you haven't got the items, these are what you're going to want to pop into your basket. These are our illustrated embossing folders. We had a quick sneaky peek at these earlier on today, but they are absolutely beautiful. This first one is your garden roses. We then have your flourishing foliage. We've got your charming helleborus. You've got your delightful butterfly. This is your pretty peonies. And then we've got your beautiful hydrangea. Is it butterfly hydrangea? Beautiful hydrangea.
Butterfly hydrangea.
It's butterfly hydrangea.
It is indeed.
It's wrong on the back. I'm going to change that while no one's looking at me. But a beautiful set of embossing folders. And I absolutely guarantee, after watching this, if you haven't got them already, you're going to want to pop them in your basket. And a great price as well, just £22 or $32. Platinum price is £17.60 or $25.60. And guess what? If we've got craft along and we've got a special guest, it's only Susie T. Hello, Susie.
Normally our social media superstar.
Absolutely. Great to finally meet you virtually, because we occasionally text, don't we, but never actually said hello face to face.
Right? Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this craft along. You're using the same colourways, the same embossing folder as Debbie's using in her craft along?
I'm going to use the butterfly.
Yep. Nice. Like that. They're beautiful, aren't they? Have you had a chance to have a good play with these already?
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
a lot of fun to color.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Brilliant. What colourways are you using? You going to use pink colours or blues or purples?
Blues and purples, I think.
Looking forward to seeing that. It's always nice to see the person doing the craft along using slightly different colourways to match with whatever they're doing. So definitely enjoying doing that. Obviously, you know the score, Susie. If you get lost, put your hand up. If you've got any questions, put your hand up. But definitely looking forward to seeing what you're going to be making along in this craft along with Debbie. We'll catch up with you in a little bit of time.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Fabulous, brilliant. Okay, we've got a few people saying hello. We've got Polly Coe saying hello again from Blountstown, Florida. Rosalind says, back for more crafty inspiration from Maryland. Lillian Quox here saying, hi Becky and Debbie. Audrey is here saying, evening all from a -5 temperature up here in Scotland. Ooh, stay warm, stay inside. Karen says, hello from Kentucky. Betsy says, hello from Houston. This looks like a fun craft along. And Beth says, a good afternoon from North Dakota. Yes, do message in if you've got any questions about the products that we've got. Do have a look, do message in and let us know while Debbie is here. Another thing to let you know about, if you missed the earlier shows, we've got our 12 days of Craftmas. Do you see what we've done there? We are spinning the wheel. We spun the wheel this morning. Each day we're going to spin the wheel and you will get the opportunity to get a free gift. I think what else is there? 5 off 30. Flash sale, bonus points, discounts, all sorts of different things. And it came to the flash sale, which is on Christmas crackers. So if you have a look at the website, you will be able to see you've got £10, $10 Christmas crackers item on there. Now this will only be valid up until 11:59 UK time, very precise there. After that, then tomorrow, I'll spin the wheel tomorrow and we'll see what we get. Who knows? It might be another flash sale, we just don't know. I always wanted to do that in a game show.
Did you?
Yeah, I always wanted to do Wheel of Fortune. But yeah, sadly, not something that I've managed to do. Very, very sad. Right, Debbie, could we get started? Because we've got quite a lot of colouring, haven't we?
There's a lot of colouring to get through as well, so we are going to get started. What I'll do is, first of all, we'll get the measurements done for the embossing and the tag at the same time. I'm going to leave the box measurements towards the end. Sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat there. Towards the end, because I want to concentrate on the colour inside of this. So with that in mind, Nina cardstock, I'm using alcohol markers. If you're using a water-based medium and you're making this craft along your own project and using something with watercolour, then just change it out to watercolour cardstock if it's a water-based medium that you're using. But I am using alcohol markers. And so the measurements that we're going to do now is very simple, the first one, because it's the size of the embossing folder.
Okay.
Now, the size of the embossing folder is 4 by 6. However, you'll have heard me mention this many a time. I cut down slight fraction smaller. So in my terms, when I'm doing this, is I cut it down to just around 3/4 of an inch by about 5 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
Now you can make it just a fraction bigger if you want to, but what I want it to do is fit in that embossing folder perfectly. So for me, I didn't quite take enough off there. There we go, that's better. So this actually measures at 5 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, so that it sits into my embossing folder just beautifully. Now, we'll come to that in a second, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little tag. So and I'm using the tag punch. Did we put the tag punch on there, by the way?
I don't.
I know, I can't remember,
it.
but the tag punch was definitely on my list when I gave it them, because next tag's easier.
Yeah.
If you haven't got it, don't worry. You can make your own little tag in any shape that you want, but we're just going to use this tag punch for now. I know I thought it would have done. You may have got this. We are waiting for this to come back in, actually, because we do love this one. But I want it to measure at the 2.5 inch mark, so it's going to be the chunky one. So 2.5 inches, and I'm going to take this to about 4.5. So this now, I can just use my tag punch by simply popping it into the 2.5, pushing it up to as far as it'll go, and then creating my own little tag punch. And they're the two pieces that we are going to emboss. We're also going to be embossing, when we get to this stage, we're going to be embossing the panels, but we're going to be keeping those nice and white. So it's going to be a bit of white on white. However, these are the bits that we need to now get embossed. So, first one is the big one. Nice and simple, really nice and easy. Pop that into your embossing folder, line that up, and then when you're looking at the pattern, you can see now, especially if you've cut it down that little bit of a size, you've got a clear indication of where you're going to go with that pattern so that you know you're not missing any areas. So I can see that that fits into there beautifully. Now that is just the normal combination for a regular embossing folder, which are your 2 cutting plates. So in the G2, it's the 2 white ones. In your originals, it's the 2 clear ones. And then we're just going to run that through our Gemini die cutting machine for the emboss one. And then we're going to do the same with the tag. We're going to take the tag, and we're going to focus on a little area on the flower. And you can pick, to be fair, if like Susie's doing the butterfly, you can choose whichever part of that embossing folder that you want to do. Now you can see straight off, lovely embossing, but it's going to come to life. Bit of plain cardstock, embossing, but it's going to come to life with the colour. And that's what I love about these. So with this in mind, I'm going to have a little placement. I think I want to have, let's have a little look. Let's have a nosy. I think I'm going to take that up there, just that little bit. This is when you can play around. You can pick up an area that you want to create your next bit of embossing. So I'm going to take it up to the top. So I've got a little bit of the flower coming down on the tag. Let's take it across there, that's it. So I've got some of the leaves on here. Oh, actually, this is decisions, Becky.
Too difficult to choose.
Honestly, I don't know which to choose because I think they all look lovely. I think I'm going to go with that one. Choose some area for your tag. And if you're cutting your own tag and you're doing it in this like a square shape and you haven't got those, if you've got a rounded corner punch, you could use that and then create your own little hole in there with an hole punch or something like that. And then just pop that down, and then we're going to repeat that embossing in the same way. And now you've got 2 pieces of plates that you're going to be colouring. Like I said, when it comes to the mats and the layers of the box, I'll give you those measurements. Fingers crossed we get to that stage. But we'll see, Becky, we'll see. Yeah. Because now what we've got are 2 lovely areas to start colouring with. Now, always, when you're using alcohol marker, you need a bit of blotting paper underneath. So I'm going to bring in black so we can see it a little bit better, because I think if I put white on white, it's going to be a bit distracting for you. So I'm going to pop it onto some black cardstock to make that pop a little bit. And we're going to concentrate on this one first. Now, my particular choice of colours, and I've got a mix here, Becky. So I've got some brushes, and I've got some, and they're all tri-blends. Yeah. And the colours that I've gone for, why have you got 2 citrus greens out, Debbie? A citrus green blend, which has got 3 shades of that lovely family. I've gone for the pale pink blend and the pale pink shades. Okay. I've also got those repeated colours, but in the brush. So we've got the pale pink blend, twice, don't ask me why, and also the citrus green blend in the brush ones. So when we're colouring a bit of a larger surface area, or we need to speed things up, we've got the ability to do so, because the brush pen allows you to do that. Now, I'm going to start with the pale pink. In fact, you know what we'll do? I'm going to change it up. We're going to start with the leaves. Let's get the green out of the way. So you are going to take your pen, and then you're going to use these now. Now, I personally take this pen up to the embossing line. So you can see this leaf here. I'm going to come up to that embossing line, and I go over, just over the top. It gives you that guide to where you need to go, because you've got the raised element. So you know you're not going to go over, and you're not going to hurt anything in terms of colouring or go out of that colouring, because you've got that embossed line to be able to take you through that stage. Now, when you come to the colouring part, we're going to lay down the lightest colour first. So this is when you'll get into all those nooks and crannies, and if you are using the brush pen, it glides over the top. You can leave what we call a little bit of an highlighted area, or as you'll have heard Leanne talk about it loads, preserving a highlight. We can also cheat and use a white acrylic pen, but we'll do it this way so you can see. And I'm going to take it down the spine of that leaf, and we'll start to colour in. Saturate it first. So when I say saturate it, lay down quite a nice bit of that lightest tone, and then you're going to take your dark tone And I'm going to come down that centre part and just some little tiny, like little flicks. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. I'm going to come underneath this area of that petal. Over the top of that, you're going to turn to the medium and go over that dark, so you'll start to see that little bit of a blend. I'll repeat it on the other side in a second. Then the light tone, back over. And when that starts to evaporate, that alcohol starts to evaporate, you'll start to see that shading come into its own. Now, while it's still wet, you can go back in and you can add that little bit more. And I'm going to do that down that dark part of the leaf. And I'm going to use those embossed lines to help me. Do you know where I'm putting that there? Can you see? Going over that embossed line. And then, again, you can still carry on blending until you're happy with that blend by repeating it. Because while it's still wet, it enables you to do that. Okay? So that's that half done. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to come back over. In fact, I'm going to flick all... Yeah, let me just colour all that. We'll do a little bit preserved highlight down that centre. We're going to come in again with that dark and just concentrate on the other side. Little tiny flicks. And if you are using your brush, that's when your flicking will be able to come into its own. Again, down to that medium colour. And then over with the light. Now I'm going to leave a little bit where I've just left a little bit of a... Can you see where it looks like it's almost... It's not white, but it's lighter.
Yeah, definitely.
To just create that little bit of a preserved highlight, so to speak. It's still wet though, so I know I can go in any areas that I've missed and go back in. I can add that little bit more dark so that you can see that leaf starting to take shape in terms of your colouring. And I'm just going to add that little bit more.
So could you colour these in with any medium? Would they work with pencils as well?
Any pencils will work lovely. You can actually use your wax pencils over the top of these once you finish with them, because you can add some extra dimension to them if you want to. But I'm just going to carry on. And again, now we'll leave that for a second. We'll move over to the other leaves, because we can see we've got quite a few leaves on this one. So we'll concentrate on all of these and we'll just repeat that process. Okay. So again, I'll start with that light one, using the raised element. Tell you, I think everybody had been a colouring coma by the end of this craft along, and we've only just started. And again, come down and saturate, but I'm going to do all. I know I concentrated on that first half, but I'm just going to carry on showing you. You can get quite a nice bit of colour down.
So Rosalind Russell asks, what's the difference between the illustrated embossing folders and the 3D embossing folders?
3D and more sculpture. There's more sculpture with a 3D embossing folder. It's a great question, Rosalind. This is what we call a 2D standard embossing folder. So it's one level of embossing. And you can see that it's like just one raised element. A 3D would have this first flat rate, and then it would also have a little bit more, and then a little bit more. So it's like sculptured. It's like 3 times that sort of embossing, which is why your 3D embossing folder is thicker. It's not a standard thin plastic. It's a thicker plastic that it's made from to take all that design.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Becky. Again, I'm moving to that dark shade down that centre, the spine of the leaf. I'm going to just continue to just add that. Then again, moving into that medium tone. The same on the other side.
That looks great.
And then
it's amazing how it comes to life.
Yeah, they do. And then I'm going to go over that, because it's almost like it's just leaving that little bit of preserve, like it has just done down there. And like I said, you can leave it white if you like to leave it white. I find it a bit too stark for me, so I like to add that in later. And again, while it's wet, because this is still wet and you'll feel it, it's like it feels damp. It's still wet, the ink, so you can go in and add that little bit more.
And just ask, what colour green are you using again?
I'm using the citrus green blend on mine. Lovely. Let me just turn that there. It's the citrus green blend, which has 3 shades. And the 3 shades of this one are the 1, 2 and 3. So some of our Class Eat markers go up to like, they can go anything up to like 8, 9, 10 in shades. There's 216 altogether in the Class Eats and the Illustrators. And there are all these codes. It won't say citrus green, They'll have their own name, their own colour, the green, but they'll have this coding on the side of them.
Okay.
And this is the lightest, and then moving up to a different gradient and dark. It goes light, medium and dark when you're using them. And then again, I'm just going to carry on repeating that.
Okay. Lillian Kwok says the illustrated embossing folders are like bumper bars for your colouring. And they really are. It makes it easy, doesn't it?
I love that, Lillian.
Yeah.
That is a really good description. I love that. That's absolutely spot on. Bumper bars. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really, really, really good description of what this allows you to do. It enables you to stop from, you know, like I've said before, where you don't have to worry about your colouring skills too much. I'm saying too much, but because you have got that little grid that helps you. And then again, I'm just going to use that dark over that spine of that leaf. And then I'm just going to spin that around because I can see down here I've got another leaf, so we're going to continue, get all the leaves done. Oh, we've got another one there.
Lovely. While you're doing that, I've got a couple of messages that have come through and a few hellos to say, which I've now lost. Oh no, there they are. Hold on, wait a minute. It's gone back to earlier show. Here we go. Rachel Brown says the first few flakes of snow have just started coming down in Shropshire. It's not too far away, is it? I'm going home on Monday morning. I'm just hoping there's no snow on Monday morning. Christy Mahoney says, I knew it. I knew it was Susie when someone said it was a surprise. And Christy Mahoney is going to be on the craft along tomorrow, isn't she? And she suggested that I wear my crown, because she's going to be wearing a crown.
Oh, you're wearing crowns.
Well,
I feel a little bit less
it's not going to
now.
go with my outfit. Crowns go with any outfit, don't they? I'll wear it tomorrow. It does make my head hurt. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Zoe Carver says, I love my tag punch, but I'm easily pleased. It is really good. I want to try and be a little bit sustainable at Christmas, she says, as much as I possibly can be. So I use craft wrapping paper. So I use like brown paper, and I've got some white brown paper, for want of a better term, and I make my gift tags out of craft card, and I use that tag punch because then everything can be recycled, because quite often with wrapping paper you can't recycle it all, and I just think we throw away so much over Christmas. I mean, let's not worry about the plastic toys that I buy for the children, not my children but other people's children. Candy says, I'm interested in seeing different things that you do with this. I don't have this set of folders, but I've got several others I've had for years, which I'd like to try. They are really beautiful, these folders. And like Lillian was saying, because you've got those bars there to do your colouring, you can see how quickly Debbie's creating these different tones, and they look really realistic, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we've said before, an embossing folder is an embossing folder. You can do this with any of your embossing folders. Not all of them. The reason why they was resigned was to give you the colouring capability. You've got big open spaces. Not all embossing folders are like that, Becky. So it's nice to have these in terms of all this open space to colour with. I do apologise, I'm going to have to take a little swig. Because I've got a little bit of a
frog in your throat.
Croaky throat.
My husband always calls it old lady voice. When suddenly I start talking like this.
Yeah, bless you. I'm going to move to this large one. So again, and I'm using those, what did we call them? Bumper bars. Love that. I love that. Was that Lillian?
Lillian, yeah.
Love that. I think that's a really good descriptive term. And again, I'm just going to saturate that area and then come down using those bumper bars, so I know that I'm not going anywhere over.
That's looking great, really like that. That colour's very good. That's ideal colour for roses, isn't it? Well, or peonies. Sorry, hydrangeas. Any flower at all. No, but it's the right kind of green, and you've got having that really dark shade in that dry blend's really useful.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bless your little heart.
Do you know what? It's late. It's late for me. I was saying yesterday I went to bed at 8, and I woke up this morning.
You were in bed for 8?
Yeah. I was dropping off to sleep by 8:15. And then I was up at 7 and the alarm had to wake me up, and I'd had an hour's nap before I set off driving yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, doing this job really does, cause my nap time to go all over the place. But whenever we're in the house, Debbie's always wide awake, and I'm like, by about 9 o'clock, I have to go to bed now, Debbie.
Should you do, don't you?
I do go to bed quite early.
Although, to be fair, I think I won't be far behind you today, Becky, because I think it's been a very long couple of weeks in terms of working. We work a lot from, I know a lot of people often say, but we do work a lot from home as well as the travelling between all the places that we actually work. So it can take a drain on you. And I have also been doing some external demonstrations last couple of weekends as well that I've had to prep for too. So it's been quite a tiring last couple of weeks.
Well, I think, because I remember seeing something on social media, somebody saying, oh, I've tried to make a card and it's taken hours and I don't know how the craft experts do it. But there is always, from my point of view, doing sewing, I mean, it takes me days to prep for a show, days, because I've got to try something out, sewing machine has a fit, I haven't got the right thread, I've got to go out and buy it, and all those sorts of things. And it's the same with paper craft, isn't it? It takes a really long time to prep for each show because we have the ideas, but you've got to try them out first of all, especially with a craft along, you've got to time it, and you've got to make the finished product as well. So it takes quite a long time. So you should be beating yourself up if you're making something at home and it's taking you a while to do it, because it takes everyone a long time to work it all out.
Yeah. Now, while you've been using that description so beautifully, and it's true, I've just been taking the mid-tone of my... you can use it with the light one, the mid one, or the dark one. The dark one, it's going to be more emphasised, but let that just sit over the top. Use those bumper bars to give it some extra definition. And like I said, you could do it with the light one if you wanted to do it with the light one as well. But yeah, and we can cheat a little bit as well. I'll show you with me highlighting areas. I do like to cheat a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Why not? We can do. But yes, so I'm going to start again, and we're just going to concentrate on all these leafages. Okay. Is that a word?
Foliage.
Foliage, darling. Foliage.
Foliage.
How do you know? I
Foliage.
You see, every time I say that word, people say I'm saying it wrong.
It's because you're saying foliage. That's the reason why, Debbie.
It doesn't stick, Becky.
No.
It's one of those words that just does not stick.
Mischievous is something that I have to stop for myself.
Mischievous?
No, actually it's not. It's mischievous is a correct pronunciation, but I always said mischievous, and actually it's incorrect. So I have to really stop myself and say mischievous.
Oh my God! To me, it's
There's certain words that you have to
mischievous.
just stop yourself, don't you, and make sure you pronounce them correctly. I said earlier on, there's a term that I always get wrong, so I try not to say it, and I'm not going to say it now either, because I might get it incorrect.
Did you say that earlier, Becky?
I did mention it earlier.
Did you?
I'm not going to say what it is, though, Debbie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no.
I can't remember what you said.
No, I said please don't use that particular item because I might say the wrong word.
Oh yeah.
I
remember now what it was.
Unfortunately, it's a term that just comes out of my mouth and it's incorrect. Anne says, I'm thinking of using this embossing folder for my mum's birthday, only in blue, so I'm watching intently. And Lillian Kwok has put her hands up and said, I think Corinne might be the one that came up with the bumper bars.
Well, we'll take the bumper bars.
Yeah.
Whoever mentioned it, Lillian, we'll take those bumper bars because it really is a good description word to use in terms of that embossing detail. And you can start to see it starts, and even when the alcohol starts to evaporate, so to speak, you can start to see it taking shape. There's just a few more leaves that we're going to concentrate. So there's a couple here, we've got one down here, and then there's some around this one. So there is a fair bit of colouring with this, but I think we're doing okay. But if there's any point, but this is the thing with this craft along, it's not about the like an all singing, all dancing kind of card. It's about learning all these little, these little things that you can do with your colouring. But it basically is a colouring craft along. Because I did say when they gave it, I was like, you do know it's going to be focusing on the colouring because that's exactly how the team designed these.
Yeah.
We wanted something for you to take your colouring, a little bit of a colouring journey with them.
Absolutely. I think it's mesmerising watching you colour. So it just suddenly becomes alive. Really like this. So while we're colouring, I'm going to ask a question.
Go on then.
So it's coming up for Christmas.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I know it's not exactly Christmas yet, but I want to know what people's Christmas traditions are. Do you go and do something particular on Christmas Eve? Do you do something particular on Christmas morning? I'm a great fan of the TV show Modern Family, and in there they said in the morning they would get up and they'd have a photograph on the stairs in their pyjamas, and that was a traditional kind of thing. So let us know if there's a traditional a tradition that you do. Is it something that you've always done, or maybe it's something you just started doing with children? I know that when I was younger, or when my children were young, those little elves on the shelves just weren't around. So we didn't do anything like that. But I know lots of people do those. They quite like an elf, and I think if the elves are around now, that's quite nice. But do you have that kind of tradition, or is it hot chocolate and Christmas carols by the fire on Christmas morning? I don't know. Let us know while you're watching Debbie doing her colouring. Debbie, is there any kind of tradition that you have in your family, particularly around Christmas?
In a nutshell, no.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't. It's usually just spending time with family.
Yeah.
I don't have any like Christmas Eve parties. I don't have any Christmas Eve traditions. I lost a lot of the Christmas spirit, Becky, when my kids all grew up and left and flew the nest. So we don't have any at all. We used to, when my Auntie Jean was alive, we always used to make that effort of getting together with family and spending time. But as long as I'm with my family, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it gets difficult as children get older.
It does.
In the gallery, Johnny and James, is there any particular Christmas traditions you have? Johnny, does that happen in your house? So in Johnny's house, before the children go downstairs, Johnny's partner has to go downstairs and make sure that there's been a delivery from Santa before they go, and see if well, actually, let's be honest. I mean, children wake up really early. Santa could still be dropping off the presents. He doesn't deliver to Darlington until after you can't get up before 6 o'clock in the morning in Darlington.
I love it.
You see, we're quite lucky in my house because I'm wide awake at about 4. I'm the first person up in the morning, so luckily Santa comes quite early where I live. London's a big place, I suppose he does that early on in the day. Anything else that you do as a tradition? Do you have? So we do on Christmas Eve. We give everyone a present, which is pyjamas.
I love that. You were telling me that earlier, didn't you? I like that. I think that's lovely.
I think that's quite a common one now, isn't it? Having some Christmas pyjamas.
I don't do pyjamas full stop, let alone at Christmas. So
right.
it's not for me.
Christmas negligees.
Christmas what is?
Negligees.
Negligee. I love that, Becky.
Everyone wants a Christmas negligee. Johnny's saying now he really wants one. Anne says gingerbread pancakes for breakfast.
Ooh.
That sounds delicious.
That sounds divine, doesn't it?
Oh,
that sounds really lovely.
Karen says, this Christmas is going to be different for me as my dad passed away in March. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
So this will be my first Christmas without him. I plan to get dinner with my brothers for me. I think actually Christmas is one of those times where you really miss the people who should be around. So it's always good to just see you having dinner with your brothers. So that's going to be good. Should we check in on Susie and see how she's doing?
Yeah, while I'm doing this, because I'm just doing a bit of repeating.
How are you doing? Hello, Susie. How are you doing?
I'm colouring my leaves.
Oh, that looks good.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm liking that.
Is that the foliage part? That looks lovely.
Foliage. I can't say foliage anymore. I have to say foliage.
Well, actually, Monica says we're saying it correctly because it is French. foliage.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you
There you
say
go. So we're all correct.
Method
in
behind
the
the
end.
madness.
Yeah. Do you have any special traditions at Christmas or in the
We're
holidays?
kind of odd at Christmas time. Ever since we were really little, we watched Star Wars movies all day on Christmas while we open our presents,
I
which
need
was
to come
great
to
when
your
we
house.
were little kids and you had the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
And it was easy. But now there's so many.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose which ones you're going to watch on Christmas.
Which is your favourite?
Oh, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, so I'd have to go for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah?
I love a Star Wars film. It's my absolute favourite thing.
That's because you worked on the Ewoks
I
clothes
did.
or pocketbooks.
Yeah,
That's why you like it
maybe
so
that's
much.
why I like Return of the Jedi, because my stuff's in it. Yeah, I think that's probably the way it is. It's lovely to hear all people's sort of traditions around the holidays. I do enjoy listening to those. But gingerbread pancakes.
We have lasagna for dinner.
I might have to ask.
Our Christmas dinner has always been lasagna.
Oh, lasagna. Okay. That's a lot
that
easier
strange?
to manage, actually, than a big turkey and everything, all the trimmings. And, of course, in the US, you've not long had Thanksgiving, have you?
Right.
Yeah. So,
So we
is,
have big turkey for Thanksgiving and then
yeah. So we have something
Lasagna.
different. Yeah, absolutely. I love a lasagna. I'm like Garfield. I like a lasagna. Does anyone know who Garfield is that's here? I'm too old to remember that. Garfield loved lasagna. Brilliant.
I've
Well, we'll
heard
check
Garfield.
back in on you in a little bit of time once you get on with your colouring. Thanks very much.
Okay.
See you in a minute, Susie.
bye.
No.
So, Debbie, how are you doing with your colouring? You're almost there with your leaves?
I have done my leaves on this side, yes. So, and I was just debating, do I start with my little tag? And then I thought, not so sure now. But I'm just going to just a little tickle over there. But I can start to see that starting to take shape. So if I just push those there for a second. Now that's my colour choice. You could have chosen any of the greens. This was just a citrus green, which I quite like with the pink that I'm using. And so I thought, well, shall we move on to the flowers now?
Yep, absolutely.
You can, if you want, at this stage, to because if you just take a look at your smaller one, I haven't got as many leaves on there, so I could get that little stage done as well and colour that in. However, I think what we'll do is we'll just concentrate on this one. So I'm just going to put my green to one side for the time being. And then this is when you can bring in your pinks. Now I've gone for the pink, pale pink blend and the pale pink shades. And when you take a look at these colours, I can tell these aren't my pens because
Are they a bit stiff?
I'm a little bit of a stickler at home with my pens. And I'm
having them all the right way round?
I've got to have them the right way around, yeah, absolutely. And I've also fetched in the brush, just so I can show you for a second. So obviously brush nib. You've got a beautiful brush nib on one end. Oh my lord, someone's been having a right good old go at that one. May need another one of those. But you've got pale pink. Oh, I'll just call the code PP1 into the light and the brush. Then it jumps. So on the tri-blend brush, this is now a 4 shade and a 6 shade. Whereas in the tri-blend pens, it's the 1, 2 and 3, 4,
Right.
5 and 6 in the shades. So basically in this pen, there are these 2 sides over here, and then this one and this one.
Right.
So, and the only difference there is you've got the brush nib. So the brush nib allows you to be able to put down and lay down quite a nice bit of colour. Although I'm not sure, this looks like this one. I might need to ask Trace if you can have a little look for me, because can you see?
There's not a lot of colour left, is there?
Yeah, it's not. It's so I don't know what's happened to this one, because that one has right at the very tip, and that's your pen shouldn't look like that. It should be nice and a lovely brush nib all the way across. So I think this one's been damaged at some point because that's not.
Or could it have been overused, so it's run out of ink in that
Well, it
section?
could be, because I'm just laying down. So I'm just going to show you the difference between the two, because obviously on this, and I believe that this has had some interference because it looks like there's another colour under there. So let me just move to this one. And I'm just going to lay down. And I tend to work at a flower at a time, or a petal at a time. And I'm just going to pop that underneath there. There we go. You can see that's coming through. And then, again, it's the same in terms of a dark, but I am going to bring in, it's going to add a little bit more darkness, which is why I moved to the shades as well. It's got more colour ways, more darker tones in there. And I tend to always start from each leaf And then just when you're doing this, take it at each petal from that centre and then turn around. So if you've got one of those boards, do you know the rotating Tiffany boards? This one comes in really handy in its own. So I'm going to just drop that down because I am going to be using that dark shade there as well. I'm trying to keep all my pens in shot because I think our James has come in really close. But let me just pull this back so that you can see the shadings on there. That's the dark in the lightest one, so that's the next one that I'm going to use. And I'm taking it over the top of the dark to bleach some of that out, and that will happen in all of those sections. And then move into the mid-tone. And the same with this, where I'm just going over, because I want a little bit of a smooth transition when it comes to me shading. And then lastly, back over with that pale one. And I am leaving like a little bit of a highlighted area. But again, if you don't do that highlighted area, don't worry, because you can put the highlights in with a gel pen, with an acrylic pen, and you can really go to town. Now, I am going to add, because I want a little bit more depth to this, so I am going to just pop just a little bit of the dark in that centre. And again, I'm using those bumper lines to give myself a little bit of extra definition around them, because you'll see these on your pens. And again, let me move into that, because it's still wet, so I can still do this and still get a little bit of shading.
Oh, I've got a question.
Go on then.
It's one of mine. So if, you know, when you showed us this, these embossing folders in the first show this morning,
yes,
you used a sandpaper. Could you do that with this after you've coloured it in, or would it not work?
You can do. It'll take off the top. Everything that's got that dark, it'll take off the top. So just bear that in mind, because this is a white core. However, this is only a 216 GSM. So that's Nina cardstock, but you can do that if you want to do that. And of course, if you want to add gilding wax over the top, I steered away from it this time because I was going to add that, Becky, but I steered away from there this particular time. Just because I quite like running it over with the pen, so I went over with the pen. And so if I just take, like there, I just took one of the shades of the pen to go back over the top. Now, it's up to you which one you use. Obviously, if you're going to use the dark, it's going to be really defined. So I'm going to come in with the, let's see what my 4 looks like. Yeah, quite like that one. So I'm going to pop that in and run that across. Like so.
Nice.
And then we just and that's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat that all the way around.
Right.
So I'm going to work on these big ones first. So I'll start with that. Let's see if it'll do it on here. Yeah, I can. Especially if you move to your. Don't know what's going off with this pen. I might have to see if there's another tri-blend brush. Can you see the? I think it's because it's saturating very quickly. I can almost see the black coming through. Can you see?
You can.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Let's see if I can put a bit of white underneath it, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I think it's just because it was soaking in.
Right.
Yeah. So again, with your brush though, you can get quite a lot. However, when you're doing these, work at one flower at a time and build up each one. For me, it makes a difference when you're doing this. If you want to ever preserve a line light, which I'll show you in a second, I'm going to move that to this one again. We'll come back into that dark. So I think I'll start with the 4 again. And I'm going around that centre of that flower. And I'm going to take that 3 over the top to blend out, so you're not getting those lines. Can you see where they look like stark lines? When you blend it over the top, it's going to come in and add a bit of definition around the roundness of the petal.
Lovely. Looks really pretty.
Sorry, I did say, Becky, to you that this...
No, that's fine.
It's one of those craft-alongs that it's...
Well, as you colour, stop me if you... I'm going to talk through the people's traditions that they've emailed.
Oh, no, yeah, that's fine, love, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear.
Just stop me if there's something you want to point out while you're doing this, so you can all see how Debbie is colouring in. But a few people have messaged in and said, Alison says, like all good American Jews, Christmas Day was movies and Chinese food. Yum, my favourite food. Karen says, homemade cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning and baking cookies with my granddaughters before Christmas. That sounds lovely. I like that.
Love that, yeah.
One year, I did Nigella's gingerbread cookies and I hung them on the Christmas tree, and I came downstairs and there was no icing left on any of the cookies because the puppy had licked them clean. Disgusting. Anyway, I handed those over to my husband. He said, oh, look, there's some cookies here for you. So, oh, these are delicious. Sue says, good morning from Montana. Hope you're well. After church on Christmas Eve, I make homemade eggnog and serve it in my mum's vintage eggnog set.
Oh, that sounds nice.
We sit in the living room and enjoy.
That sounds lovely.
Rachel says, Christmas dinner will be Chinese or you can eat buffet. Oh, nice, like that. Monica says, in Romania, we go caroling on Christmas Eve to all our friends' houses with kids. And this goes way into the night. The kids often fall asleep, so this could take all night. I like that idea, like Christmas carols. Rosalind says, since we had such a big dinner for Thanksgiving, Christmas will be small and intimate with immediate family members. Everyone is doing a small trip the weekend before with friends. That sounds nice. Zoe Carver says, it's become tradition that we go to the Christmas trees, go to the Christmas trees, go up and down. I choose a tree and Brian cuts it down with a chainsaw. It's usually too big, or I feel sorry for the one that has 3 tops. And Rosalind says, one of the family traditions since my children were small was opening one gift on Christmas Eve, which is usually from the stockings. There are adults and the tradition continues. Oh, I do like that. Carry on sending in your Christmas traditions, or your holiday traditions is probably the better term for that, what you get up to over the festive period, if there's anything in particular that you like to do. Is there anything particularly you like to cook? I mean, I like those idea of the cinnamon pancakes. Definitely going to be taking that one away with me. I always make my infamous white chocolate torte.
Oh, Becky.
And I make it on Boxing Day, and I've done it. I make it on Christmas Day, and I take it for Christmas lunch. And then I made it for Chinese New Year, and my cousins were like, "What's that?" And my son went, "It's Mum's white chocolate torte." And they were like, what are you talking about? And they've never seen it before because I've never made it for them. I've made it for the other side of the family. And anyway, everyone loves my white chocolate torte. There's never any left. And so I always have to make 2, one to keep at home. Could I make one for next Saturday? I'm coming up by train. If I can manage to balance it on the tube like this, I'll give it a whirl. I could potentially bring the ingredients up and make it here. It depends, Johnny. Is it you working on?
Look at Johnny putting a request.
Okay.
Bless him.
Maybe. I'll see. Yeah, Johnny, you'll be able to eat it because you can't eat the chocolates I brought in today. Anne says, I had a cat that nibbled all the feet off the low-hanging gingerbread men. I stopped putting real food on the tree after that. I even have glass candy canes for decorating. Yeah, I don't put anything edible on the Christmas tree anymore because of exactly that. Any kind of animal, cat or dog or child. I
love it.
One year, my son was quite young, and I had a big bowl full of, all the sweets that come in tubs, like all the ones you get at Christmas in those tins, and they just kept disappearing. And in the bathroom were all these wrappers, and I said to him, "Are you eating all the chocolates?" And he was like, "No." And I said, "You are eating all the chocolates." And he went, "How do you know?" And I said, "Because you might have not be eating them in front of me, but you're leaving the wrappers in the downstairs toilet. That's how I know." And he was like, "Mums know everything." He was quite young. He was about 15 at the time. No, it was
Bless him.
It was only little.
I love it.
That's the time, I think Christmas, for me, Christmas is the time I can eat chocolate for breakfast and not feel guilty about it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, no. Glass of Bucks Fizz, I'll be fine.
Oh, I love a bit of chocolate in the morning at Christmas.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'll be very upset if I don't get some kind of chocolatey goodness in my stocking.
Oh, bless you.
A chocolate orange, that's my husband's favourite, dark chocolate orange, he loves those. I like those little seashell chocolates, they're my favourite. They're really good. I can eat a whole box in one go. Well, most of a box. I leave 3 just for manners. Rachel said shaped chocolate. If they love you, you get in your... There's something about shaped chocolate, isn't there? It always seems to taste better than a bar of chocolate. Am I the only person that thinks that?
I'm on the opposite of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it tastes the same as a bar. So yeah, that's just my personal my personal preference, but I don't feel it tastes the same, Becky.
No, it doesn't. I think it tastes better when it's
No,
shaped.
I don't think it does. I don't think it tastes the same at
Ooh.
all. But each to his own. We all have different viewpoints, don't we?
So you'd rather have a bar of chocolate and bite a lump of the bar of chocolate off than have a chocolate snowman and eat his head?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
don't taste the same.
No.
Yeah. Are you agreeing with me, Johnny? Yeah, I don't think it tastes the same at all. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, do you like the Dairy Men, the Dairy Milk Stantas? I don't think they taste the same as a Dairy Milk bar. So for me, it's a no.
Well, I'll have your shaped chocolate, Debbie. You can have my bars.
Bars are definitely getting smaller, let me tell you. Can you start to see it starting to
Yeah.
take shape now? So literally, we're just going to continue with that. And like I said, dependent on which shade you want to take, like the colour, PP4 is obviously darker than 3. And when you pop it around, you're making it pop. If you pop it on, let me just show you what I mean by that, because it's not going to really affect it. You can see that definition on each of the petals between the two. So for me, I'm probably going to stick with this one actually because I quite like this. I'm using the bumper bars. There's even shapes down. There's even like lines on your embossing folder to help you learn that illustrate. You know, to do that illustration with it. And once it's evaporated, you will see a difference. But we'll continue to do it so that you can start to see that build up. We're halfway through that particular hydrangea, so we've just got a few more to go with. So I'm just going to continue, Becky. You carry on with all that chocolate chat and holiday food chat because it's making me, honestly, it's making my mouth water over here.
Chocolate. Have you ever been to Cadbury's World?
Oh, yes, I have. Do you know what? My grandkids have been there today. In fact, I saw 2 seconds ago the phone pinged with their daddy ringing, and I think they were on the other end of that phone. I think it would have FaceTime because I think they've just back from Cadbury's World and they were going to tell me all about it. So yes, so we might have to take a little break.
Yeah. Little chocolate break. Yeah. Have you been to Cadbury's World, Johnny?
Oh, you have to go.
It is very good.
It's very good.
Because you can eat they give you some chocolate that's fresh off the line.
Yeah,
and it just tastes different. It's not like Willy Wonka. There is no everlasting gobstopper.
No.
No. Would that be amazing if you went somewhere that had a chocolate waterfall?
Funnily enough, I was expecting that when I went. I thought that was going to be. I thought that's how Cadbury World looked. I mean, when we went in, there were literally bars of chocolate for you. You had the warm chocolate literally off the machine. It was divine. And then a grand tour, and then obviously the talk around the tour as well, which I just thought were really fascinating.
All the advertising and things like that, all the marketing was really interesting.
Yeah, very.
I haven't been for a long time. In fact, it's where I thought I was going when my husband proposed. So he said to me, we'll go away. We can't. It was Valentine's weekend. Can't afford to go anywhere particularly exciting or what's the word? Far away, but we'll go to Birmingham. And I was like, okay, we can go to Cadbury's World. And I was quite excited. And he said, turned up in the car, he said, come on, we need to go. And I was like, I haven't printed off the voucher for Cadbury's World.
Oh, no.
And he was like, come on, we've got to go. And then we drove to where we live, where the train station was. And he said, I've just got to pop in to a property to drop off a note. And he said, there's a guide, travel guide for where we're going in the glove compartment. So I opened the travel guide, and in the glove compartment is a guide for Paris and a ring on top. And I went, you're such an idiot. We're not going to Paris, we're going to Birmingham. And whose jewellery is this in your car? And that's when he went, oh no, I'm asking you to marry me and we're going to Paris.
Oh.
So I haven't been to Cadbury's World for a while.
Oh,
And
Becky.
I have to say, I was very excited, but I did think I was really looking forward to going to Cadbury's World. Oh dear.
Oh, bless you. Oh, that's so. I didn't realise that's how you were proposed to.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Isn't that lovely? Warms the cockles of your heart, it does.
This is typical me. Whose jewellery is this in your car? I don't know. Sue Benson says, this is beautiful. The pink looks peachy on TV. It does
look peachy, but it's very pink. Believe you me, it's very pink. But yeah, I looked up and I thought, oh my God, am I using peach? I looked at it, I thought, I think I've got wrong colours, but then realised it was the cameras and it wasn't that at all. But yes, it does.
So
It's
one
got-
of it does, but I think you can get so many different tones in hydrangeas anyway, can't you?
You can, yeah. I was debating to do the purple one, you know, the purpley blue one,
Yeah.
but I did love this pink one. My
Me too.
grandma and granddad used to have hydrangeas in the garden, so I love this one. It reminds me of them.
Because it's all to do with the alkaline in the soil that makes them change colour. So if you have I can't remember which way round, but one has creates the blue flowers because of the alkaline soil, and one creates the pink if it's more acidy. I think that way round or something like that.
Gosh, you learn something new every day in this place.
Useless information, just useless. I'm afraid. Okay, so Stephanie, this is what Stephanie gets up to. Christmas Eve was spent at my parents'. I made multiple pieces of gingerbread houses for each family to put together and take home. The adult children each made a few sides to go with dinner. Then we would have a chance to catch up with everyone and exchange gifts, have dessert after dinner, and everyone brought out Christmas cookies, and it was cocktails all day. Woo-hoo. You kept that one to the very last, you know, cocktails all day.
Notice us though, we went, oh.
Next day, we would have my mother-in-law and uncle for dinner with us, maybe watch a movie, Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation. Of course, Santa had to come in the morning and the gifts were opened. The next day was spent with my extended family. My father-in-law were remarried. If the day wasn't convenient, we'd spend it together on New Year's Day. That's lovely.
Aww.
Oh, Rachel says they're blue and acidic soil, so pink in alkaline soil, hydrangeas. I knew it was one way or another. So you can actually change. Sometimes you get the same plant, different colours on each side because the roots are in different parts of the soil. Again, like you say, useless information.
But really good information, Becky. I'm really enjoying your useless information. I'm loving it. How's our Susie doing? It's gone quiet that end. Is Susie okay?
Yeah, should we see how Susie's doing? She's waving. She's finishing, doing a bit of colouring. Hi, Susie. Oh, my goodness, Susie, that looks great.
How's she
You're
doing?
really
How's she
cracking
doing?
along, aren't you? Oh, lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
Bye.
That looks great. Really like that. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, doesn't it, to do the colouring, but it's well worth it. Really beautiful.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll catch up with you in a little bit of time, give you a bit longer to colour through. So I'm going to recap on the deal that we've got with these embossing folders, because I'm sure after watching these, you are going to be inspired to get them if you haven't already. If you have got them, make sure you get them out, use them. The first one we've got, so these are illustrated embossing folders. The first one is your garden roses. We then have your flourishing foliage. That's my French accent, in case you didn't know. We have your charming helleborus, or Christmas rose, a delightful butterfly. We have pretty peonies, and we have the butterfly hydrangea, which is the one that we're using at the moment. I'm going to show you a few finished samples as well so you can see. I mean, they are really, really beautiful. This one very simply just coloured very gently, and then with a little bit of gilding wax over the top of that, which is lovely. Very pretty in a little box. And then this is using that butterfly one, which I think is the one that Susie is using. I really like this, and they've just sort of cut out these little bits, sort of decoupage them onto the card, which is beautiful. This one, look at this, I think this is lovely. And actually, very different. So this is your peonies one? Got this one here as well, totally different way of colouring those, really different feel to them with those different shades in there. And then moving through to your flowers here, using more sort of chalky, perhaps with those duet ink pads that you've got in there. Absolutely beautiful. And then finally this one with some gilding wax that you've got in here too. Really gorgeous, these. I think they're going to be things that you'll be able to use throughout the whole of the year. So many different ways you can use them. And as you're seeing here, I mean, we're doing this in real time. Obviously, normally we would have prepped the colouring in, but you're seeing it in real time. And actually, you can see how, actually, it's very quick, what you're creating, and you're creating something from 2D to 3D with the way that you're blending all of those colours together, aren't you, Debbie?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we've done. We've taken that blank piece of Nina cardstock and with a little bit of shading using, like, we've got 6 different shades of pink in here. You can really see it come to life. And it's starting to take shape. We've just got a couple of little bits here and then 2 bits down there. We can then do the tag. And then do you know what we can do? We can get the box put together.
Ooh.
I think we're going to be okay. I think. I'm hoping so, Johnny. I'm hoping so. But yeah, literally. And I'm just going to literally, because all I've been doing, because of those 6 different shades, I'm enabling me to be able to create some extra depth and dimension. And anything, while ever it's wet, while the alcohol is still wet, you can go back in and add that little bit more if you just want them a little bit more defined. And I'm only using some little strokes when I'm using those. Can you see? I'm taking the shades that I'm going down each time with that shading so I can get that bit of blend going off. And then just leaving like a bit of preserved highlight in each one of those middle of the petals. Because if you think about where light would hit, light would bounce into the centre and then they'd be darker, and into the areas. But I think with this, with that embossing, with that colouring, it just comes to life instantly.
Really
so
does. I'm impressed how much you've managed to get done, because the colouring does take a bit of time, doesn't it?
absolutely it does, yeah. And I will tell you, when I did mine, I was binge watching. 2 Doors Down, I think I was watching.
I never watched that.
Oh, you've got to watch it. It's hilarious. It's Craig. Craig gets me off on all these things that he tells me about, and then I get addicted, and I've got to binge watch everything in one sitting. So I think I was watching that at the same time. But I do time. I'm not going to lie. When I do my craft alongs, I do it. I do it. Oh, I'm doing it again. I do run. Yeah, exactly. I do time. Oh, Debbie, stop saying do. So do time. God, stop it. Oh my days. I do time myself when I'm crafting.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm going with it. Oh dear me. I'm going to say it's getting late, but well, it is actually.
It's nearly my bedtime.
I know I've been up since, well, the crack of dawn, I say, but it's like quarter to 6 this morning.
Well, also, we've both been saying about travelling in, because obviously it's a little bit treacherous around various points in the UK at the moment with all of the snow.
Yeah, so you're more
quite
alert,
icy.
aren't
so
you?
Your journey in this morning was much longer than normal and much more hazardous. So, do need to sort of bear that in mind. You're allowed to be tired, Debbie.
Thank you. Do you know what? I think this might be, because all I'm going to do is continue to colour in exactly the same way you've just done those, but I think I might pause at this stage. Can you see, though, how that has sprung into life?
Yeah.
Just by, and like I said, we started life in a plain piece of cardstock.
Yeah.
And literally just by adding that colour, you have brought the whole of that, you've illustrated it because you've coloured it, and I'll show you a few little cheating techniques that you can do with your acrylic markers or your gel pens, whatever it is, just if you have missed areas. I've kept some, excuse me, it's the coffee, nearly, getting a little bit of a highlighted on, but I think what we'll do is we'll just pause for a second and just take a little bit of a break. Plus I don't want to let me, because this must be 5th cup of coffee Liv has made me today, and I've got cups absolutely everywhere that I haven't drunk, so I'm going to have a quick 2-minute break, give my eyes a little bit of a rest. So yeah, Becky, back to you.
Okay, no problem. We will give you a quick break, give you the opportunity to check out your baskets. If you haven't popped these, you haven't got these illustrated embossing folders already, you will want to get them in your basket as soon as you possibly can. We will see you back in a couple of moments.
Hi, I'm Ben from Crafters TV. As you may know, we've just launched an amazing new website, our new home of papercraft to house all of your crafty needs. And as we've had a bit of a makeover, I'm here today to show you how to check out Crafters TV on our sparkling new website, including how to watch live, catch up with previous shows, and how to view the latest schedules. So, let's get started. First, go to the Crafters Companion homepage. Select the correct location at the top of the page. Click the Crafters TV icon on the top right-hand side of your screen. To watch the show live on the website, click the Watch Now button in the middle of your screen. You'll be taken to the relevant show page where you can watch the show, shop the show, and shop the day at your leisure. To view the Crafters TV schedule, click the View Our Schedule button in the middle of your screen. You'll be taken to the TV schedule where you can browse each date plus all of the shows that are on that day. You can then click on each show to be taken to a... If you want to catch up on a previous show, hit the Catch Up button on the purple Crafters TV bar. Then you can scroll down to see all of the previous Crafters TV shows from recent days. If you're looking for something specific, you can click the Craft Expert, Craft Area, Shows and Date filters just above the list of shows. Take a moment to browse until you see the show you want to catch up on, then click onto the show. You'll then be taken to the catch-up page where you're free to watch the show and check out all of the crafty goodies on our Shop the Show and Shop the Day pages. Enjoy!
There once was a man who was very crafty. His name was Craig from Carnoustie. He joined the team on Crafters TV. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. He wanted to prove he was the man, but he lost at craft wars to Leanne. But 2 weeks later he beat Jan. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. He did so well on Crafters TV, Sarah sent him off to Germany, where he did some work for QVC. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. His crafting skills, they aren't half bad. In fact, I'd say they're totally rad. That's mainly down to his favourite foam pads. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. The crafters, they loved him a lottie for his charm and skill. They went quite potty, they nicknamed him the Hardy Scotty. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live. In the crafting world, he's standing tall. He's the best Scottish crafter of them all. Catch him Monday to Friday on his wake-up call. Oh, crafty Scottish man craft. Soon may the crafty man come to bring us demos and inspiration. Each day when his crafting is done, he might do a Facebook Live.
Ah.
We all sing
Yeah, we all sing that one. Were you singing at home? Because it's the one we all sing along to or have a little dance to. Ben makes such good songs.
It's fabulous,
He
isn't he?
really is. I'm always impressed with what he creates. I'm looking forward to the album coming out. Is he working on an album? Is he really? Oh, that's exciting. Is he going on tour? It's going to be Ben Mosby at Wembley Arena. Well, I don't know. We'll
I'll be his runner.
You'll be what?
I'll be his runner.
His runner.
Yeah. I'll pamper to every need he needs. I'll be the one that gets him his 500 white roses and Maltesers or whatever it is that he has. You know, like some of these demands that
on
some of
their
these
rider.
divas.
What would you put on your rider if you became? I mean, you are well known because you get stopped in shops, don't you? What would you put on your rider for
toilets.
having in your dressing room? What would it be?
Oh, what would it be? Well, there'd have to be some form of, like, maybe a Baileys in there.
Yeah. Just a traditional Baileys. Are you going to go, you know...
Just traditional.
Not their red velvet
ice.
Baileys or their birthday cake Baileys.
No, just with ice. Bit of ice.
Yeah.
Traditional Baileys. Some frothy coffee.
Yeah.
On tap. What else? Gosh. I don't know.
Do you not think about this?
I've not thought about this, Becky. Wait a minute. You're asking me because you've thought about it, haven't you?
Of course.
Come on then, fill me
Have
in.
you not practiced your signature for when you get famous?
Oh, that's my signature that I use now because I always thought I was going to be famous. I always thought I was going to be part of a chart hitting topping group or whatever it is, playing to Wembley Stadium and everything. So just sign me signature.
Did you think you were going to be a pop star?
In my head, yes.
Yeah.
In my head.
In your head?
Yeah. That would never really happen.
I always thought I was going to
Can
be
we call
a...
ourselves crafting superstars?
Yeah, you are. You are a crafting superstar.
In the world of craft. I've done my little first part.
Fantastic.
So if I just hold that there just for a second. Now, any nature of any colouring, of any parts, you will have, are you ready? Ta-da! You will have that.
Right.
But that's natural and that's normal. But that has literally sprung to life. So, with that said, I think what I'll do is I will quickly... Oh dear. I'll put it down somewhere.
What are you looking for? Oh
Me
gosh,
tag.
is it that die that says with love on it?
No. No, it's me tag.
Oh, you had it there a minute ago.
I know I did, because I showed you all. What have I done with it? Becky, come back. I'll find
Okay.
it. I'll find it. I know I've got it somewhere.
I might go over there with some fresh eyes and show you.
Well, do you know what? It could actually be that, because I might have dropped it. Oh, God.
It's
I
dropped
have.
on the have you trodden on it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Absolutely hopeless.
But this was an embossed piece of card. It's now a flattened piece of card. Yeah, we did have a stamping masterclass earlier today. Not stamping. Hannah says, these look cool. Do they deboss rather than emboss?
You can deboss, you can emboss. Your deboss is a different kind of feel. Sorry, before, obviously, because I'm just calling. Oh, sorry, thank you, James, thank you. Can you see your deboss goes in?
Yep.
The emboss comes out.
Nice.
For colouring, you're going to use that. It's going to be a little bit trickier because you're going to have to make sure that you don't, because it'll probably smudge into those lines, so it'll be a bit trickier. But absolutely, deboss, emboss, it's entirely up to you. They look fabulous no matter which way you do them. And I genuinely mean that, because they are really, they're fabulous embossing folders. Any embossing folder is fabulous, Becky, to be fair. But yes, absolutely, either way. Who asked that one?
That was Hannah Hicks.
And yeah, absolutely, you can do either way, Han.
And do remember, if you've got any questions about these or indeed any of our other products, message in. Debbie's here. Debbie knows everything. That's what she tells me. She said, Becky, I know everything.
Not quite everything.
I think you probably, anything to do with crafting, I think you've got, you'll know. But, or Bucks Fizz.
Oh, well, yes, I do know a bit of that, yeah. Oh, dear. I do, yes, I still love that music, I do.
I used to love a bit of Bucks Fizz.
Did you?
I've got one of their signed albums.
Have you now?
Mine,
Get you.
I know, it was when they did If You Can't Stand the Heat.
Oh, I love that one.
And it was like a friend of my mum, someone my mum worked with, was going out with one of the guys from Bucks Fizz at the time.
Well, it would have had to be Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to my mum, oh, you, at the time, because there was lots of sort of people that knew each other at the studios. And then much later on, I was picking up my mum and I had the Chemical Brothers playing in my car.
Oh, wow.
And my mum went, oh, it's Chemical Brothers. And I was like, how on earth do you know that this is the Chemical Brothers? At the time, my mum would have been in her 60s.
Oh, wow.
If not 70s. And she went, oh, yes, I know all about them. I'm Fatboy Slim. Where did that knowledge come from?
Just randomly pops it out.
And I was like, oh, popping a bit of the Prodigy on, a bit of the Shamans, you know these? And I was going, oh, yes, Twisted Firestarter. Yes,
Oh,
I know
my
this.
goodness me.
I know.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mum, if you're watching, hello.
Oh, will she be watching?
She might well be watching.
Hello, Becky's
She generally
mum.
watches.
What's her name?
Audrey.
Audrey.
Yeah.
Hello, Audrey.
She generally tries to watch, but it's it's nap time, isn't it? My mum and I are just the same. She might be having a little bit of a snooze.
Oh, dear.
Did you just snort?
Sorry. I am a snorter. I try not to, but I can't help it. It just comes out.
I love a snorting laugh. I think it's great because it means it's a proper laugh. It's a proper belly laugh, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
It's incredible how quickly, and you can really see, like you said before, about laying down that colour and then picking everything up and then merging all those colours together. It definitely really does. It's so impressive how quickly you can make it look properly 3D.
Yeah. absolutely. And always saturate your cardstock first with the lightest, and then choose whichever one your darkest you want to start with. I'll start with that number. This is the shade number 4, this one, and I'm just going to go around and use those lines to give me that little start in that centre of each petal, and up at the top as well. So I like to define the top of the petals. And again, you've got some line artwork in there to use. So, and I'm just... The trick to these as well is, like, especially if you've got a rotating board, it's a little bit easier to do this bit. But turn your cardstock into fascia when you're colouring. Makes it a little bit easier to be able to manoeuvre those around. And then I'm going to go back in with that 3. I'm going to do a bit of definition up at that top part of the petal. Come down into that middle section. Preserve a bit of highlight in the middle of that petal. And then the same on each one.
Stephanie says, I really notice a difference in colour as the alcohol evaporates.
Yes, absolutely. Completely. When you see the one that I just did, you'll totally see it. Because it does take a while. When you're first popping it down, you probably think, oh my God, it don't look right. Just let it settle. Let that alcohol evaporate.
What do they say? Believe in the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
That's it, trust the process.
Trust that process. And again, when you want that definition, you don't have to, but you can. I mean, again, I mentioned this earlier. You could take one of your metallic pens and go around the outside. I'm just using the colour of the pens because I think it gives it a bit more of a natural look. You can take gilding wax over the top too, so you could use that if you wanted to. But yeah, so it just gives it a little bit of definition. And if you think it's not right, you know, just add a little bit more if you want to add a little bit more. I'm just going to add a little bit more definition in that centre. And then again, while it's still wet, you can blend those out. And I'm going to stop there with that one. But just continue to do that all the way around. And where's it gone? There it is. I'm going to continue to just carry on. I work a flower at a time. That's how I work it. If you think you can get a little bit more down, then absolutely. But if you haven't, I would just repeat that like stage.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I'm just going to continue.
Message just come in from Christine Baker, who says, Debbie, you are fantastic, creative, beautiful, and I love your humour. You always have me in stitches, and that's not easy.
Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. Thank you very much. That is really... Do you know, you get lovely feedback like that, isn't it lovely? There's some lovely people out there that really do know how to make you feel $1 million. They do. Thank you. That's very kind. I don't do it intentionally. That's the thing. But my family will tell you I'm a bit like it. I talk about this with my niece a lot because my niece is exactly the same as me, and my sister often says I think she should have been born to you because she's so alike. We're so alike. Yeah. But my girls are the same. They are, and they don't, not intentionally, but they're just funny with the things that they say.
That's good.
Yeah. They always put a smile on my face. Oh, I'm spending New Year in Bristol this year, Becky.
What did you say? One.
With my eldest daughter, spending it in Bristol.
Nice.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I want to go to Bristol to go to your daughter's markets. Is it market store she got?
Yes, she's got shops now. She's got one in Birmingham.
Yeah.
She's got one in it's in Sparks in Bristol, and then she has got her own markets that she does as well. Bless her, she must be freezing today.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh God, I can't even begin to imagine how cold it must be out there. But yes, so, and she's doing that all the way up to Christmas, God love her. She booked a whole heap of Christmas markets and then said to me, oh, I don't know if I've done the right thing now. She said she wishes she'd just concentrated on shop. But it's like with anything, isn't it? It's a business at the end of the day. It's just the bread and butter. She's got to...
I love a Christmas market. I haven't been to any so far.
I haven't.
I do love a Christmas market.
I know. I keep saying I want to go to Manchester ones, but I think they're already running, aren't they?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I've always wanted to go to sort of Germany or Austria and go to one of their markets, but never got round to it. I talk about it every year and never quite get round to it.
You will one day, Becky.
One day, yeah. There's only so many things you can fit in.
There is. There is indeed. How are we doing for time? Are we all right, guys, for time? Just keep me in check. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine.
You've got loads of time, Debbie.
Yeah.
I reckon.
How's Susie T doing?
We should check on Susie. Susie,
Yeah,
how
should we
are you
check in
doing?
on Susie?
Yeah, she's waving. Hi, Susie. Oh, my goodness, Susie, that looks beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. Susie is well ahead.
I am
Lovely.
quite
That's really
pleased with myself, I have to say.
That looks great. Really like that.
Came out really nice.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. And have you started on your gift tag? Yes, you're about to just start that in the next one.
No, I haven't even cut the gift tag out yet.
Okay, fine. No
I might
problem.
save that and do it later.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll pop back and see you in a little bit of time.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Isn't it so lovely to see Susie on that side?
Yeah.
Normally she's always busy sending comments through
Yeah.
for us. It's lovely to see her on this side crafting, because ultimately she loves craft. She's a crafter at heart, so she loves the crafting.
Yeah. I've only met Susie in the past sort of message, well, no, WhatsApp messages. Not actually, I've even spoken to her. So it's really nice to put, face to the name, as it were.
Absolutely. It is. It's lovely. Right, I'm going to continue just around here. I've got a couple of more petals to do, although I'm just going to, because I'm not quite happy with that one, so I'm just going to come back in and I'm going to bleach that out by using the light. Oh, is that the lightest? Oh, Debbie, that's the darkest. Oh, it's over here, the light one. It's all right. I'll be able to
Hide it.
yeah. So by using the lighter one, I can actually do a little bit of bleaching out by adding the light one in. If you've got a blender pen, you absolutely can do that. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's absolutely fine. But I'm just going to continue. So we'll work on this one.
Okay. Cat Butt, I love your name.
Cat's amazing
It's
name. I
so
love Cat's
good.
name.
It's so good. Late to the party, I love you too. Thanks, ladies.
Oh.
Oh no, I was saying about Debbie knowing everything. Marianne says, I always say, I do not know everything, just a lot. I think Debbie knows everything about crafting.
I wish. There's still things I'm learning all the time, Becky. I know a few bits, but I do. I learn myself as well. You know, it's lovely.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this place. We're always learning different techniques, inspiration from everyone, from each other, from you guys, which I absolutely love.
Do you know, one of my favourite things to look at on Facebook are people's takes on the craft-alongs that we've
Yes,
done.
yeah.
And obviously, the whole Facebook just blew up with all of the copies of Michelle's train.
That's why I know she's going to get the demo of the year. Did I tell you why? Because when I did that Roaring Twenties craft along in March, I've never seen as many shares in all my life of their takes.
Yeah.
So I know she's on to a surefire winner for demo of the year this year.
Well, that sounds like
next year.
fighting talk, Debbie.
Oh, no, seriously. And I know from those shares, because like I said, when I did that craft along, I was blown away with the response. I'd never in a million years expected as many shares as there was, because everybody loved it and did their own take. And still to this day, this is like 9 months later, Becky, I'm still getting people sharing the makes of that one. So I know for a fact, you know, it is lovely to see people's takes on things when they're, you know, they interpret, oh my days.
Interpretation.
Thank you very much. Of the makes. Yes, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, it's lovely to see that's across there. But yeah, it's the train. Yeah, it just reminds me of when I did the craft along with the Roaring Twenties. It's gone off the chart crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I think it's always good to see that the craft along has been inspired. You know, it's inspiring. And I'm sure we're going to see loads of people.
Oh, we've got loads more, haven't we? Still plenty more.
Yeah. Well, you've got another one tomorrow.
Oh my days, I know.
Yeah.
I know I have. Yeah. Might share with you if we get time at the end. I'll share with you.
Okay.
Although I think it is. I don't know if it's gone up on the socials yet. Might have to get producer Johnny to have a little check, because I'm not sure if it's up on the socials. I'm assuming it might be. I would imagine it is. Are you busy looking as well there, or you're in trance with the colouring?
I'm watching what you do. I'll worry about what happens tomorrow.
I think that might be all of my flowers. So I'm going to just do my go back. Revert to the green. Where's it gone? Here it is. Let's revert to the green. Get this colouring out of the way, and then what we can do is we can concentrate on the box.
Fantastic.
And we should be a way to create. Is it not up yet? Oh, we need to get on. Oh, so Susie's on the craft along. We can't ask Susie. I'll check in with our Gracie, although it is the weekend. I don't like to bother them at the weekend. But yeah, I do know that because they sent me through yesterday. So I do know it's out there, but I'm not sure if it's been shared on the socials just
And we've
yet.
got Christine Mahoney, haven't we?
We have indeed, yeah.
Yep.
Lovely to have Christine on. I don't think I've done a craft along with Christine in a long time. Yeah, I
And
can't
again,
remember.
it's always nice to see the people on screen. So we see their names, don't we, when
Yes.
they're commenting, but it's always good to see the faces
It
as
is,
well.
it's lovely, yeah. And I always love it when they join in with the craft along, I do. There we go. So I think there's one just down here.
I want to do the craft along.
Tomorrow?
I always want to do the craft along, but then I wouldn't be concentrating on anything else. I'd just be, there's a lot of colouring in this particular one, and I wouldn't have been speaking because I would have gone into a colouring coma.
That's the only fault, because Johnny did say, shall we get, and I was like, because I know what I'm like when I colour. I mean, I've barely talked through the show. Well, I think I've talked a lot, but I mean, I normally chat a lot more. But yes, it's difficult when you're colouring and trying to concentrate with speaking at the same time.
Christina says, what pink blend are you using?
So I'm using the
what
pink.
So
my tri-blends, I've got 2 here, Christine. So I am, is it Christine, did you say, sorry?
Christina.
Yeah, Christina. I've got 2. So I am using pale pink blend, pale pink shades.
Okay.
And so it's 1, 2, 3 in one of the pens, 4, 5, 6 in the other one. So you've got 6 ranges of that pale pink family to be able to get some nice depth going between them all. And Debbie's trying to concentrate because I sometimes forget what I'm doing. Into there.
Just to let you know, the product list and everything for tomorrow's craft along will be in the Crafters Companion group just after 8 p.m. this evening.
Fabulous. Is that our lovely Rachel?
It is, yes.
She's
That's
a
right.
good one. She's a good one. Thank you very much, Rachel, for that. Perfect. So my last bits of colouring are coming up now because we've got just 2 leaves to go. I'll then show you a little bit what you can do to highlight. So if you've missed your preserved highlight, I'll show you a little trick that you can do. If you've got an acrylic white marker, you'll be able to do that. I've been quite keeping in with a little bit of preserved highlight in the terms of the shading that I've been doing, but I will show you what you can do to enhance it and give yourself a little bit more depth and dimension. So I'm going to come in with that dark again, going down that spine of the leaf up to that tip, back into that medium shade, and the same. Come on there because there'll be a bit of shading going off. Back into that light tone.
It's amazing. You've done so much in this hour and a half. It's incredible how much colouring you've managed to put together.
Well, I did say to you at the top, I was slightly worried that we wouldn't, just because of the amount of colouring.
Yeah.
But I did, like I said, I did time all of this when I was at home. And I managed to do, it was a little bit longer than 2 hours, but then I was, like I said, I was distracted with my TV going off at the same time.
I see, I can only watch something I've watched before, or I can listen to something. So somebody...
Yeah, because it's quite distracting, isn't it, when you're trying to colour
something new.
or any craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you end up sort of looking slack-mouthed at the TV and forgetting that you're supposed to be doing something. But I met somebody the other day and who told me about some podcasts which I've been, like true crime podcasts.
Oh, yeah, my daughter's...
This one's got nearly 500 episodes.
Wow. It might be the one that my daughter recommended because I've been... so I've got that podcast, and there was the one that Craig told me about, which I absolutely love because it's got one of my actors in that I've... that's Down to Girls, which is James Buckley, who used to play Jay from In-Betweeners.
Yeah, I started
it's him and his wife.
Well.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's absolutely... Honestly, I love the pair of them. But yeah, it's a really good podcast. Oh, look, I finished. Done all the colouring.
Done.
There we go. All the colouring is now complete. So you've got your tag. You've got your main base for your card. So I'm just going to put all these pens away, Becky.
Okay.
And then get ready to construct the box that we're going to be doing and popping them onto. So, yes, come back in a second.
Okay, no problem. Now, we've got some ink pads in here. These are pigment ink pads. And now, if you watched the show earlier on, the masterclass in stamping, we talked a lot about ink pads as well as stamps. So if you missed that, go back to it if you're a bit confused about how the ink pads work. So you've actually got 12 in this bundle. The first one is a plum jam. We then have pale fig. The next one is twilight grey. We then have pumice. This one is smoked pearl. We have smoked emerald. It's like a nice dark green. Smoke plume. Damson wine. We have what we woke up to this morning, a misty morning. Green topaz. Oasis. And midnight in that bundle. So 12 altogether. Lots and lots of colours are going to work really well. These are all pigment ink pads that you've got here. Price is £40 or $55. The platinum price is £32 or $44 that we've got here. Now, we're obviously the craft along is all about these illustrated embossing folders. These are the ones that you really want to get. If you haven't already got them, you must be inspired by the samples we've got and also Debbie's craft along. These are absolutely beautiful. This first one is your butterfly hydrangea. Then we have your pretty peonies. This next one is your delightful butterflies, which is one that you've seen Susie using. This is your charming helleborus. This is your flourishing foliage. And then finally we have the garden rose. Beautiful selection of embossing folders. And I've got a few samples here to show you the type of thing that you could be making. This one here, really simple, but just with a little bit of gilding wax, just to pick up that little design. That is absolutely beautiful. We've then got this one, which is your rose garden one, using some of the Duet ink pads in here. This one looking beautiful with using that one, just seeing what that's using. It doesn't say on the back, but I think it's using the tri-blends there with a little bit of embossing gilding wax on the top. But this one, it's the same pattern, but totally different with the way that that's been put together. It's got a really different feel using that darker outline there. And then this one, which is the one that Susie T is using with those beautiful butterflies on there. Really beautiful, as I say, £22 or $32. Platinum is £17.60 or $25.60. Debbie, you ready to start with the box now?
Yes, I'm just going to show you though, because I did say I was going to show you with a white gel pen or with an acrylic paint marker. If you've got the Academy of Colour, you've got a really nice fine tip one in there that you could use to do this for preserving your highlight. And literally, I've done quite a bit of the natural preserving of the highlight with these two, but you can emphasise, so you can go over some of those and just drop a little bit down, add a little bit onto there, and then again, same around the petals. If you just take a look at where I've preserved some highlight, you can add a little bit of the white gel pen in as well. So yeah, you could do all of these, and it just like puts a little bit of natural shade into there. Well, it's a natural shade, a little bit of natural light thrown on. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't go mad. I don't go like on every single petal and do it, because it wouldn't work. It would look a little bit daft. But where I've done that, I'm just emphasising a little bit. So you can see around the petals, I'm just using it to highlight that little bit more. Like I said, you don't have to do this on everyone, but it just gives you a little small indication, and you can have a little bit of play with it. Pop a few dots on there, it gives it a nice little feature, or a couple of little crisscrosses on. I like doing that just because it's just a little bit of extra decoration, and that's just the way I always work. If you've ever seen any of my colouring in, you'll get where I'm coming from when I do this, because I just think it looked quite nice. So you can have a little play with those. Now, I'm done with that. I don't want to add any more because I'm quite happy with the way that both of those have turned out. So, box. I've used A3 cardstock. What is going off with this? Oh my days, it's stuck to my cardstock. A3 cardstock. I have got 2 sheets of it because we are going to make a card base. I'm going to use my large guillotine just for the time being. Paper trimmer will work with this though as well, so you could use your paper trimmer. But I'm going to give you the measurements for the box. So, and I've created a box that's... I've created a box that's got like not a full covered lid, it's like a half lid. So I'm going to give you the measurements for that while I just pick up my tag.
You don't want to tread on that one as well.
No, I'm not. I'm not treading on any more. I'm just going to extend my leg of my trimmer. I call it a leg, Becky.
It is a leg.
Arm, leg, arm. Yeah. What's between a leg and an arm? Not very much. So for the large part of the base card, because obviously the base is bigger than the lid with this, the measurement of this is 13 inches by 11. So you take your, and this one on your large one goes right up to 13. Of course, if you're using a paper trimmer, it goes up to 14.25.
Okay.
So you've got a little bit more scope on your paper trimmer. So 13 by 11. So we'll take it to the 11 mark. Make sure it's flush up to the top, otherwise it will alter your cut. And then I'm just going to write on there just for a second, because this is my base, so just a little B. Now the second part, you can actually get this out of an A4 card, because we're going to take this to 11 inches by 9. So
Okay.
this is going to be the lid. So 11 by 9. Wait a minute, that's not 9, Debbie, that's 8. Nearly. Whew. Right. And then I'm just going to write on there a little L so I know. Now, bringing in your scoreboard, I'll just move that to one side. We'll do some more cutting in a second, but we'll get the box base done. So I'm going to bring in the base, and we're going to score this at 3 inches all the way around. Now, normally when you're doing a box, Becky, you can do this by using the lid and then the base, but you can get away with it with this because we've done 2 different sizes, so we can stick to that lid set. I hope I've done that right, Debbie. Come on, think, girl, think. Just give me a second, Becky, because do you know in my head, I'm thinking, yes, you did, Debbie. That's the lid. 2 inches all the way around. We'll do the lid first. Oh, nearly got myself in a pickle then. I can tell it's late. I can tell it's late. Normally, when I do this, I do start with 2 pieces of cardstock the same, then take off 1 inch. But trust yourself, Debbie. 2 inches all the way around on your lid and on the lid side as well. So nice gentle scoring, 2 inches all the way around. Let's push that up there. How are we doing for time, guys? Are we okay for time?
20 minutes.
Yeah. How much were that, James? 22 and a half. Ooh, I see.
Very
So that's-
precise, James, isn't he?
He is very precise. He is absolutely precise. Now, Debbie, come on, because I think you did it on the base side because it is the base, and you did 3 all the way around. So 3 inches all the way around on the base side of your box, and not what I said a second ago. I think it's...
At least you remembered.
I know, I think, do you know, it's because, like I said, I always start with 2 pieces of cardstock that measure the same. Always. And then take off. But I thought, oh no, let's see how this works. But yeah, I definitely did it on the base and the lid, because of course it is. It's meant to fit. It's meant to be there. Now, you want your scoring tool. Now, when you, when I do, a little tip Debbie gave me, I fold it in on itself. So literally, you get a really nice, smooth, straight edge when you're doing this. So the same, little short tab, and then bring it over. So you're bringing it over on itself and then scoring. Oh, since Debbie gave me that tip, Becky, it's been a game changer. Love it. Love tips and hints. We learn from everybody. And that's what this is all about. Like you mentioned a second ago, it's what it's all about.
Yep.
So again, and then the same with this one. And then we just put this together like we would with any box base and box lid. So get me scissors. I've got my large scissors. And then we're going to cut into these. Now, cutting into that score line. Someone asked me the question as well the other day, where do you cut? Well, I do try to cut towards the left-hand side of that that fold to try and get that nice edge.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked that question when we were on, and I never thought about it until I got asked the question, and I thought, oh yeah, I do. I cut to the left-hand side. Isn't it funny? Sometimes you're just automatic in what you do.
I suppose you're just sort of cutting away that fold, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, it's one of those things. It's like when someone says, did you lock the front door? And you're like,
Oh my God, I give
remember."
myself sleepless nights, me. If I've set off, I can sometimes turn the car around and go back because I'm convinced I haven't locked the door. I mean, knowing full well I have, but my head won't allow me to do that. I just think straight away, You've not done it, Debbie. Go back. Go back. Same again with the lid. We're just going to pop that, literally those, folding it towards you so that the tab is on. And it makes a really nice difference in terms of your box when it's popped together on how nice and straight and rigid it is. Makes a nice difference. And then repeat that with the lid. But before we start, we're literally going to put all the mats and the layers onto this. There we go.
I love a present in a box.
You what, love?
I love a present in a box.
You love a present in a box?
Yeah, don't you think it makes it feel like it's really luxurious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So that's the lid. So they're the bits that we're going to pop all of these onto, but obviously right now that's looking a little bit lost. So this is why I chose the colours of summer, because in here what I did was I chose, and I always do this, I'm hoping that pink's in there now. Oh, thank goodness. I choose a colour and then choose my colours that I think work. And as you can see, I use the dark shade of the pink and it just makes that pop.
Yeah.
So I always tend to choose this and then my pens around it. So it's like the same with any background paper. I choose that first. So for the mats and layers, and bearing in mind, we are going to put some mats and layers onto the side panels because we are going to use that embossing folder one last time.
Okay.
But I'll give you the measurements that you need for your lid. So on your lid base, the box top, because this actually, excuse me, is 5 by 7.
Okay.
Sorry, Becky.
That's all right.
It started again. It started again. So I always take 1/4 of an inch off. So I'm going down to, instead of 5 inches, I'm going to 4 3/4. Instead of 7 inches, I'm going down to 6 3/4 inch. Now that's for that first layer. But again, when you drop that down onto there, still a little bit, and I like to add a little bit of dimension when I'm doing this.
No problem. That's all right. In answer to Brenda Monroe's message, what's today's spin wheel deal on the spin wheel? Is the flash sale. I don't know if you can quite see it just there, flash sale. That is £10 or $10 off the Christmas crackers. You'll be able to find that on the website. Obviously, we're doing 12 days of Craftmas. We will spin the wheel again tomorrow because that deal is only valid until 11:59 UK time tonight. It's very precise. And then it's just going to disappear and we'll spin the wheel tomorrow. Who knows what it may be? It may be £1 million.
Ooh.
But we haven't got that on the wheel.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's going to be that.
Wouldn't that be nice? I'm going to cut the next layer. So for my large pink one, I need the next size down. So we did 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So this one goes down another 1/4 inch. So I take it to 6 1/2, and that's already at 6 1/2 because I forgot myself. I was getting carried away with myself, and that would be at 4 1/2. Wait a minute. Ooh, Debbie, you tell a little fib. It was 6 1/4 because I wanted a little bit more of a frame. And let me make sure I get this right. 4 1/4. Go and you write your measurements down, Becky, and I start thinking, have I done that right? Yeah, that's better. Because I wanted a little bit more of a frame. And then want one more pink for this.
Yep.
So I'm going to come in with 4 by 6.
Okay.
So if I take that down to 4 by 6, because if you remember when we first started this, we took this down 1/4 inch. So
Yep.
that actually sits into the 4 by 6 perfectly. And then that sits in perfectly into there to give a really nice frame.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So it looks really nice. It makes it pop. I didn't feel it warranted enough with just one layer.
No.
I wanted that extra layer. But we need to decorate the box edge sides. Now, for the box edge sides, we know it's, and if I remember rightly, because I said it was 5 by 7, I just want to double check, Becky, before I start. Yes, Debbie, trust your instructions. So, 2 of those sides we know we want to cut down to, so it's 2 inches by 7 inches, but we're cutting down that 1/4 inch. So we're going to come in at 1 3/4 in a pink, and we need that twice, by 6 3/4. So you want 2 of those. So that's 1 3/4 by 6 3/4. That will fit onto your side panel of your box, okay? And you've got 2 of those. However, this one's smaller. So we said it was 5. So we know that that's 5 inches. We still know this is 2, but what we're going to do now is we're going to still go to 1 3/4. But instead of being 5, we're going to come down to 4 3/4, and you want 2 of those. So that's 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, and that is your, if I just bring this back in again, that's your 2 side panels on either end and 1 at the bottom, and you've got that both sides, so they're going to get stuck down there. However, we just want to do a little bit of embossing, so we're going to cut out now. I'm going to use white cardstock. I'm not going to use, and I'm actually going to put my leg away. I don't need the leg, but we're going to come and use the next size down for the white panels. Now we know we've got a 1 3/4. We're coming down to 1 1/2 now. So 1 1/2 will be the depth, width. Wait a minute, width. And then the size of that we said was initially it's 7. We took a 1/4 off, so that's 6 3/4. We're going to come to 6 1/2. Yep. So the 6 1/2 will fit just nicely into there, but we are going to emboss these. And the same applies. You want 2 of those, Becky. So I'll come back down in to 1 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then we need the 2 side panels. So we knew that the life started of that original box was 5 by 2, and we took this to 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we're going to come down another 1/4 inch, and we're going to measure these at 1 1/2 again. Yep. But 4 1/2. So we know that that fits in there perfectly, and I'll show you that in a second so you can see a visual of it. So 1 1/2. 1 1/4 inch, Debbie. Wait a minute. Yes, Debbie, 1 1/4. God, it's Saturday night, you can tell. Who gives me a crafty long? It's Saturday night. Whew. Right, move all those out of the way. Now you've got all the pieces that sit. I was right the first time, Becky.
Oh no!
Because that was 1 3/4, wasn't it? 1 1/2. Come back to the drawing board. I was right the first time. That's why I thought I got 1 1/2 in my brain. Oh dear Lord. 4 1/2. Can we just rewind that, James? No one need know. It's 1 1/2. And do you know what? It's only a bit of card. It's not gonna break the bank, is it?
No.
Now, let's get that the right way around now, Debbie. There, that's better. Whew. Now, all of those white pieces we are going to emboss. So you're going to grab your embossing folder. Now you're going to see straight off that doesn't fit. So I put mine on a little bit of an angle.
Okay.
And just skew whiffed it. Doesn't matter about these 2 ends. It's not, because you've got all that pattern running down the middle. And so you're just going to pop that in, and you're going to emboss every single one of those 4 panels. Okay. So that it's only the white. You're not going to do the pink. The pink are going to sit into the box lid. As you'll see in a second. But I quite like the white on white, and I think it looks really nice when it's on that pink.
Yeah, it just finishes it all.
And it just brings it all in, it ties it all in.
Yeah.
Now, if you're feeling really colourful, you could absolutely colour those in if you wanted to. However, we would add another hour onto that.
Absolutely.
And we're not doing that on a Saturday night. No matter how much we love you, we ain't staying for another hour.
We've got stuff to do, you know.
We've got beds to sleep in, Becky. We've got beds to sleep in. I'm so tired, I'm telling you. I can't wait to get into bed tonight. I am going to, and it's normally I am a night owl, Becky, and I survive on very little sleep, but I don't know what it is today. Well, I just feel like do you know when you hit that little bit of a wall? Yeah. Definitely need a good night's sleep, definitely. Have you got any sleeping tablets on you?
I have actually.
I know what I'm like. I'm up. I know exactly what I'm like. In my head, think, oh yeah, it'll be fine. I'll sleep. I need that sleep. But do you know when it comes to it?
No.
Right, gluing time. Let's glue all of these. You aren't blocked. I know you're not. You're not open. Let's see if we can get that on.
So it confuses me now. They've changed the bottle.
Yeah, because they've took the. Some of the design have got the spatula missing There we go, free flowing again.
And it's a taller bottle, isn't it? It's a longer...
It's more, they've made it thinner. It's not as chunky as it was.
It's the same size as the tacky glue.
You're the same design. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't know why they did that, Becky. Not sure. I am going to use all-purpose though. You can use red liner tape, finger lift tape, tape pen. It's up to you. I always put different glue choices on there. Not necessarily because I've used them all, but just to give you that choice, because at the end of the day, a glue choice is personal to each individual person that crafts. So for me, I'm just about to say, where's that mat gone? It was right in front of my eyes. You can lift this as well if you want to lift this at any time.
What would you put under there?
Foam pads. I wouldn't put the other one. The foam.
Chunky glue?
What?
Chunky glue?
No. You can put chunky glue down if you want to, but I would stick with foam pads.
Yep.
So that's that part. That's actually going to stick on. So if we bring our box lid in, that's going to stick in that centre. Do you know what? I think we're just going to about do this. Oh, though, we've got to do a vote, haven't we?
Of course, yes. Well,
so if I give you, Becky, what I'll do is,
yeah,
you want to come and get these, because I've got mine here.
I'll come and get them.
So if you come and get those, because we had that one from this morning,
yeah,
that one from the second, that one from now.
Yep.
So it keeps it nice. I know it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
And you filled this box with chocolates just for me.
Have I what?
You filled the box with chocolates just for me.
Have I put some chocolates in the box?
Yeah.
Have I?
No.
I was going to say, I'm thinking I don't remember putting any chocolates in there. I was like, have I really?
No. Didn't really.
Do you want to start the vote off while I'm just sticking these down?
Yeah, just give me 2 secs.
Oh, look at you. You're getting them all nicely. Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I'm making sure they're all displayed nicely.
Bless you. Thank you.
There we go. Right. We'll start the vote for demo of the day. So number 1 was this one, where that was way back early in the morning, using those embossing folders, and then Debbie just shaved back or sanded back so you can get all that white core. So that's number 1. This is number 2, which was using those stamps with the mask, and this was a sunflower. And then this is number 3, which is that beautiful box using the With Love, or otherwise known as Debbie die. So do please get your votes in for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Debbie die.
See the Debbie die.
Debbie
I love
die.
it. I can't help it. I do love it. I'm not going to lie. Well, you know I do, because I use it a lot. I think it's become a running joke.
Yeah.
With the team. But I do love it. I think it's a really useful one to have, especially when you make generic cards. I've told you this before, Becky. My friend gets a lot of my cards that I make here for a charity, and I can't really personalise them.
No.
So I just put the With Love on, and then they can do what they want with them.
Absolutely.
And,
It's a good idea.
So yeah. So I'm literally now going to just pop the last couple of panels on, and then you can start to see this taking shape. Do it while it's flat. It makes it a little bit easier. And using repositional, using the wiggle glue, the runny glue, the all-purpose glue, enables you to position it into place. And if you do have a little spillage, it rubs off really nice as well. So I'm just going to leave that just for a second. And then with my tag, I did have another piece that actually measured the same size. So if you remember back at the beginning, we did 2.5 by 4.5, and then bringing that tag in. I'm going to exactly do the same in terms of running it on that 2.5, popping that down to create. I thought that were a little bit bigger. Let me just trim that off. Know what I'm done there. And then that's going to sit underneath. Now, this is when I did use a foam pad. Let's see if there's some nice big chunky foam pads. Yes, that will do nicely. I'm just going to put one on just in this corner. I'm not going to, because you can leave them free to dangle if that's what you want to do. But what I am going to do is just place the hole and just have it on a little skew width side.
Okay,
like
that's
so.
a nice idea.
Yeah, and it gives it that little skew. That's when you're going to put your ribbon through as well. Now, you can attach it to your box. So if I just bring in now, where's my tape pen? Let's bring in tape, because we need to speed this process up. So again, using something like this, depending on what you're popping in your box, I personally, and I would have done if I'd have had the time, I would have used red liner tape on these tabs. Only because like you said, if you're putting chocolate in there and it's really weighty, you want really, really good strength. So literally, and I'm just going to drop that down like that, popping my box together. I'm just taking your time to get those pieces right, otherwise it's not going to stick. And I'm going to just do that all the way around. Now then, are we going to check in with our Susie while I'm just gluing my panels down? Because I'm just going to repeat that with my box lid, and then it should all be nice and straightforward and stick together nice and neatly.
Lovely. All right, let's see how Susie's doing. How are you doing, Susie?
I had to unmute myself.
Oh, look at that.
I'm making mats and layers.
Yeah.
I use the pink too for the hot pink flowers.
Lovely. And how are you getting on with making the box? Are you almost there?
I've got the box all cut out. I just need to stick it together.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Oh, I hope you've enjoyed joining us on the craft along. That's been brilliant.
You know I always do.
It's so nice to see you on the other side. Yeah, it's good to see you on the other side.
Yes, it's quite fun.
And
we'll see Christine over there tomorrow.
Absolutely. And are you going to be gifting that box to somebody, or are you keeping that for yourself? Actually,
I'm going to a charity fundraiser auction, and I'm bringing a whole bunch of boxes and cards and whatever. So
fantastic.
We're going to put it in that pile.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Good way of doing that. Thank you very much, Susie. That looks brilliant. Looking forward to seeing the finished item on Facebook a little bit later on. We'll say a final goodbye to you before the very end.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
That's lovely, Susie, thank you. I have put my sides together, so my box is all made up with my tag. The only thing missing is my ribbon, and I've put my ribbon down somewhere, Becky, can't remember what I've done with it. Just tie some ribbon. Yep. You can attach it to your box if you want. I left it separate. And with your sentiment, joking aside, I did use with love. But you don't have to. You can keep it plain, you can keep it free, and you can gift that to anybody. But there you go, you've got your tag, your box, with everything made up as we've done in real-time crafting. I hope you've enjoyed the craft along, and I hope you've taken a little bit of inspiration from these gorgeous embossing folders.
Absolutely. I think it's been a fantastic craft along. Seeing how you've really brought that to life, it is incredible. And everyone else at home thinks it's incredible, because that is the winner of Demo of the Day. Congratulations. That is really good. Now we've got... we're back on tomorrow, myself and Debbie, we're together tomorrow. We've got a craft along first thing in the morning.
Oh, I'll go and grab it out, Becky. I'll get it ready.
Oh yeah, that's a frame edge and an emboss. We've got that with, we've got a guy, I guess, which is Christine Mahoney. Then we've got Masterclass, which is Christmas crafting later on. And then we've got Second Chance Sunday, of course, with all of those fantastic deals. And we're going to say a final goodbye to Susie while Debbie gets the make together. Thank you very much, Susie. It's been wonderful to see you.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm working both shows.
Brilliant. All right then, thanks very much. See you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you, Susie.
And Debbie, over there, you've got the item we're going to be crafting along to tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, so we are, now it was a challenge, this one, I'm not going to lie to you. I think this must have been the 4th project that I worked on. But I do love, I love a pinwheel tower. This one's an, can you say that word again for me, Becky? Hexagonal.
Hexagonal. I was wondering what word I was saying.
It's too late for me. But using those beautiful frame edges, and do you know what I've used? I had to. The neon papers, we've got them on the show. I'm at it again. Stop. See you tomorrow. Right, we're going to have to finish the show, but thank you very much for joining us. We will see you very bright and early tomorrow. Bye-bye.